ridiculous how much money they have to be able to. They have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars.
You know how many 18-wheelers he's got? So those shows he's got about 15 18-wheelers to 20 18-wheelers outside with all the props and all the stuff. Two of them are the broadcasting units where they're editing and sending it to the
live
satellite.
editing.
You know, the live. There's two trucks doing that shit. But the rest is.
I wonder if there's a documentary on like what it takes to run behind the scenes of WrestleMania.
Yeah, the back end.
All the trucks,
insane.
the crew, the equipment.
Outside, and the riggers are to rigging beforehand. It's, to rig everything up.
It's literally it's literally like a major motion picture budget for a one-time live show.
Yeah, so and that's what he's doing. What he does too, like he did the Bradley Center in in Brooklyn. What's it called? The Barclays Center. Barclays Center. Friday night was NXT. Now that's on Wednesday night right now on USA Network. Okay. NXT. That's the guys coming up, right? Mm-hmm. NXT he did on Friday night in the Barclay. He did Saturday night. He did the Hall of Fame in the Barclays Center. Sunday they did the outdoor in Meadowlands, the WrestleMania. I'm talking about in the New York. Not last year, the year before. Then he come back on Monday night, the Barclays Center. Tuesday night, the Barclays Center. Monday night was Raw. Tuesday night was SmackDown. So he used the Barclays Center. So he just one setup.
Oh,
and
yeah, that makes
so
that makes sense. That's what they did. That's what they did in New Orleans as well.
Yes, that's what they did. Yes. See, one
get their money's worth out
and
of
it's coming to Tampa this year.
Yeah, but it's going to be there.
That's going to be insane.
But Amelia Arena for the
Emily Arena?
Emily Arena.
For WrestleMania?
No.
No?
No, Emily Arena, no. It's the Buck Stadium, WrestleMania.
Oh, they use Raymond James.
Okay. Yeah, Raymond Stadium. Okay. And that, Emily is for the NXT, the Hall of Fame, and then Monday and Tuesday, Raw and SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah, unreal, huh?
That'll be a long week.
Yeah.
God, that's going to be wild.
Yeah. And then...
Are you going to be there?
Yeah, and then, I know, not for them.
No.
And then there's, when there's WrestleMania, there's usually about 8 wrestling shows around it. All the big independent companies in the States go to, New Orleans, there was stuff going from Thursday. Oh, yeah. Even though they had, WWE had their stuff.
WrestleCon and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that. There's WrestleCon, there's the ROH, there's all these different other companies running, Mm-hmm. This year ROH will be running, and they run Lakeland. That's the closest they can get their building. And that all the other places have been bought by different companies. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's going to be insane. That's what the mayor in Orlando. That's why he gives them everything for nothing. The WWE, because it brings so much tourists from overseas to his place. Because when they come to the WrestleMania draws from Japan, from all Europe, and that from New Zealand, Australia, draws from all over the world, right? And that Orlando, they've got SeaWorld, they've got everything there. So that's why he gives it, because the tourists not only come for WrestleMania, they catch everything. Now Tampa too, they'll get them because people will come here to go to Orlando to catch everything else too.
Okay. Yeah,
boost the whole city during that.
That rail, they should. I don't know when they're going to get that rail going, but they're going to have that rail running from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale and to Tampa.
Yeah.
That one.
The speed train or whatever it is or something.
Yeah, like the Bullet. And that's in the makings. I don't know when that's going to happen.
That'll be fucking nice.
Hell
yeah. By the time you drive to the place and then sit around, get on the plane, and then get off, and that is, if they get the plane like the Bullet, 120, 130 mile an hour, 150 mile an hour train,
cruising,
it's easier to do,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you.
Anyhow, where were we?
What kind of fucking, injuries have you had? Have you had some pretty terrible injuries? Have you had to have surgeries and back? Because I know Hulk's pretty messed up from all his back surgeries.
I've held all from back surgery, but I've had 2 right knee replacements. Okay. The first replacement I wore out, wrestling, and I did 14 years. Lasted 14 years in the ring.
Oh,
not
and
bad.
And the new one has got spike. You know, where it goes into the bone and goes up in the other one.
Yeah.
It was round before, so it's like that. Where it goes up, and it was smooth. Now there's little spikes on it. So when they cement it in with the spikes, it can't get loose.
Okay.
Yeah, the last one I had a tour in England, and it was loose, and it was like electric shocks in my leg.
Ugh.
I was loaded on
Painkillers.
painkillers.
Yeah.
And I had to do a tour.
Some
For a week.
Xanax or something.
Huh?
Were you taking Xanax or
No,
Vicodin?
No, that's not a painkiller. That's
I
antidepressant.
was taking stronger ones. Stronger
shit. Valium.
Valium, no.
That's like
No, Xanax and Valium, the same, mate. They're
the
mind
good
drugs.
stuff.
That's what the
they're
Valium. I'm
drugs.
sorry. The Xanax is what you feed the sheep first.
Yeah, the Valium and Xanax and that. Anyhow, so my career, that's where I came. Then I came to the States. I lived in Hawaii. You know, I worked across Canada. You know, right across Canada in the 70s. And a wee bit in the States, but I was living in Canada. And then in 79 I came, 78, 79 I came, and I was living in Hawaii. And we were working 4 islands a week and that, and I used to fly over Diamond Head every night and see Jack Lord and the crew doing Hawaii 5-0.
Oh, yeah?
The plane would come right low in that, and I could look right down and see him doing Hawaii 5-0.
That's cool.
That
That's
was
awesome.
that was great. But in Hawaii, I just kept my head above water.
Yeah.
I didn't make any money, you know what I mean?
Right,
I made money to survive. I lived right across I lived on Waikiki Beach, and that. Got up every morning, went to the gym. By 10 o'clock, I was on the beach every day. At 5:30, I would fly out to one of the islands. We had the promoter had his own planes. We'd fly to the islands and do an island. I'd be back in Waikiki around 10 o'clock every night.
That's where The Rock's from, right? He's from Hawaii, isn't he?
The Rock.
Yeah, he used to live in Hawaii when he was a
Yeah,
young
he lives.
kid.
Yeah, because his grandma and grandfather, Peter Marvia, they owned the promotion.
Okay.
Down the road, they owned the promotion. And he was born in the States. He lived in New Zealand too for 2 years.
Did he really?
Yeah. I wrestled the Rock's grandfather. Me and Butch
Really?
wrestled him.
Are you
Peter
serious?
Marvia. You know, in Hall of Fame, we told the story about that. We wrestled Peter Marvia, the Rock's grandfather, and then the Rock's dad. I wrestled him. I still see him a lot, and that I wrestled him in Australia, New Zealand, and the States.
No way.
The Rock's dad everywhere, but the Rock's grandfather I wrestled just in Australia and New Zealand.
Were they anything like The Rock? What were those guys like?
Yeah, it's what, the Rock's third generation.
Right.
Where do you think he got it from?
Exactly. Yeah. I say
His-
it's before my time, so that's why I got to ask.
No, the Rock's grandfather, Peter Marvia, was a high chief.
Right.
Samoan chief and that, and he was in the first James Bond movies. He was in a lot of movies, bit parts.
Oh shit! No
Yeah,
way.
he's the one that had to fight and went through the screen in the movie with kendo sticks at the start of that first. Was it Doctor No? What was the first James? I can't remember. That's going way back.
Yeah.
But he was in those movies and that, and then Rocky Johnson, he was a big name. He was the first. Him and Tony Atlas were the first black people ever to have the WWF world belts. You know, they were the first black people to have the world straps in wrestling.
Damn.
Yeah, Rocky Johnson. I worked with him all over the States,
Yeah.
and in Australia and in New Zealand.
That's wild. Yeah, I actually met his mom at Ric Flair's wedding.
Yeah,
I went there and I made a little video. I made like a little documentary about his wedding, and his mom was there. And I got to talk to her. I did a little interview with her.
Rock's mom and dad.
They're like
used to
super
come-
involved in wrestling. They're,
Yeah,
they're
they-
super.
yeah.
They're super close to so many different people, like Ric Flair. And
Well, they're broken up now, but they still live in the same street. And that
who's broken up?
The Rock's mom and dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they live in the same street as The Rock down in Davie, but because Rock bought all the homes for the family there.
Where's that at?
Down in Davie.
Where's Davie?
South Florida, Lake Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyhow, Mum and Dad used to come to our restaurant when they had the Bushwacker down at a steakhouse on Dale Mabry, and that they used to come there all the time.
Yeah.
And eat.